Hello, I'm Morgan Burton. I'm so excited you guys are here for Refresh and Refuel. Probably going to have quite a few people tuning into the recording. So excited that you have taken the time to watch the recording. It means so much to us, and we know that it'll benefit you in your business ending 2024 and then launching into 2025. So a little bit to start off, I want to share about my journey this year. It has been quite the roller coaster. So earlier this year, I was faced with a major Dane and I were faced with a major challenge, and that was we lost one of our highest paying clients. And it was a turning point that really forced us and me to step back and reevaluate everything. And at the same time, I was battling pneumonia, which progressed into meningitis. And then a week later, finding out the heartbreaking loss of Kane's dad. And so it was just a period filled with uncertainty, pain, and a lot of reflecting on what my why was. And then through all of it, I had realized that my why had shifted significantly. And it became clear to me that what I really wanted for people was to fully feel and know what it means to live a life of satisfaction based off of what that means for you individually. And so in these moments, it made me realize that showing up exactly as you are, even in the mess, is what it means to live a life full of feelings, whether that's sadness, happiness, the joy, feeling the wind on your face and tasting food and, those belly laughs with your best friends. It's all of those moments are about being fully present and embracing, those highs and those lows and knowing that it's all part of the journey. And so through these challenges, it really made me see the importance of aligning with what truly matters in your life. And so that's why I feel like really resetting in the mid-year is so crucial, because you're not the same person that you were at the beginning of the year. Things change, things happen, and you evolve. And sometimes it requires us to set new goals. And so it's kind of forcing you to take a hard look at what's working and what's not working, and understanding that there's changes that need to take place in order for you to move forward and really fine tune what those visions and what those values are for yourself. So it's a little bit about me and what the meaning of Refresh and Refuel is. And then want to introduce literally the best business partner who keeps me grounded and strong and is the foundation of pretty much everything that has progressed in the last year, and D&M in this business that we are in it together. So I want to hand the floor over to Dana now that you guys have known a little bit more about me.
Hi, everyone. As Morgan stated, I am Dana Thompson. I am the second half of D&M. And I love how she just gave that wonderful introduction of me being grounding. And that's something that I've had to cultivate over 42 years of existence. And our experiences this year in business have really helped me to really understand the sustainability that I have to have in my life, in all aspects of my life, professionally and personally. And so having things be mutable this year was a great learning experience. It really helped me to understand what areas I am not properly nourishing for myself, and how that then really feeds into all of the creative things that I'm doing in my life, and how that was affecting our relationship as business partners, and then also our business. So it's really important for me coming into this time of year to really take an inventory of, like Morgan said, what is and what is not working, what I know, what I don't know, and being really open to the possibilities, right? And to what things I want to nourish and harvest going into next year. So, refresh and refuel for everyone today really is about clarifying what your values are. So, really coming into your own understandings and then how that translates into your brand message. We're also going to cover setting aligned and flexible goals. So, giving yourself a foundation, but then allowing yourself to be mutable throughout your own creative processes. Also, how your personal brand attracts your ideal clients. So, as Morgan and I were experiencing things personally and professional, how our attraction is bringing in people into our fold, and not even really bringing people into our fold, but really allowing the people who were already there to understand who we are, what we do, and how that is going to benefit their own processes, their own dreams, their own visions. We're also going to go over elevating your visual branding and then how to create a consistent content plan. And this doesn't have to be something that you put into place and it's unchanging, but giving yourself a really strong foundation so that you have some place to move from to make your next steps. And then of course, we're going to hit you with a Q&A and then also go over what's next.
So one of the things that's super important to me and that I shared was being authentic. And so with that, I wanted to just go over some staple points in that authentic acronym. So A, accept your story, embrace that the journey, that's what you're going through and it's what brought you here. And that's what connects you with your audience. U is understanding your values. You have to know what is driving you and make sure that that is aligned with your brand and your core beliefs. T, take people behind the scenes, let them see the process, even when it's unfinished. H, have your own voice, speak life into yourself and connect with people on a real level. E, establish consistency. So this is show up as your true self day to day and even pivoting when things need to be adjusted. N, never overthink your content. Keep it simple and conversational and completely let go of the perfection. T is trust your boundaries, know when to say no. So your brand stays true to yourself and you stay true to yourself. I, ignore comparisons. Focus on your journey and what feels right for you, not what anybody else is doing. And C, celebrate your uniqueness. So lean into what makes you different and fully embrace that. Okay, so clarifying core values. I think that what happens here is you really need to define your why. What is working in your business and what feels off? So, like I was saying previously, is who you were at the beginning of the year is completely different than who you are now, whether you think so or not. Your what you believe in, what you're focusing on, what your audience needs, how you talk to yourself. All of these things have potentially changed from the beginning of the year until now. And so you have to really take a moment and take a step back and think like, what are my core values and how am I sharing that with the people that are connected to me and that want to know more about what I'm doing and how I can support them. And then understanding that this strong businesses aren't just about, these pretty pictures and these pretty Instagram grids and your fancy logo. Like, it's actually about the purpose. Why do you have this Instagram? Why are you posting what you're posting? What's the legitimate purpose that you have moving forward from this? And so one of the tips that I love doing and presenting with clients is putting together a mood board. Just quick backstory is the other day I could not find anything in my closet. We know how that goes. We have all these clothes, but we can't put anything together. And so I reached out to a stylist and was like, I have no idea who I am or what I'm doing, and none of my clothes are in alignment with who I want to be. And she immediately was like, you need to go put a mood board together, get on Pinterest and pick out all the outfits that are in alignment with who you are now. And so what we love to do and what we love to offer our clients and just kind of like realign them with their aesthetic and their vibe and their feelings is we tell them, get a mood board together, find photos, find images, find anything. There's no cap on what is in alignment with who you are right now. So we just think that it's really, really important to go out there and like visually take a look at what's out there because things are always changing. But if you don't know, it's because you just need to get on Pinterest, make a little board and create something that's in alignment with yourself.
All right, so setting aligned and flexible goals is really going to help you to reset your business goals in 2024. And it's really important for you to think about this as a strategic move about taking small steps. It's not about a setback, okay? So it's an opportunity for you to align your current state, wherever you are right now, right here in the present, to where you want to be. So thinking about that big picture, I always like to equate it to impressionist art, right? You sketch out before you get to painting, and then you have that big idea of what the painting, the picture is going to be. but then you create those little pixels that are then going to create the masterpiece, the work of art, right? And that's what you're doing when you're setting aligned and flexible goals from 2024 into 2025. So it's not about pushing harder to get you through your next quarter, the next 3 months. It's about recalibrating, thinking about where you've been, where you currently are, and where you want to go. So recalibrate and ensure that your goals are matching where you are right now in this present moment.
Really love that. Okay, this is one of my favorites. How your brand attracts your ideal clients. Your brand is who you are and nothing less, nothing more. It doesn't have to be this crazy, thing. You get to be you. So that also ties it back to being authentic. And so whether or not that's you showing through stories, showing your face, giving a behind the scenes look, or even sharing personal experience, you get to create excuse me, a space where your audience can see the real person behind the brand. This connection is what makes clients more likely want to work with you, because they feel that personal connection to you. So okay, so now I think it's really important that we dive into something that's very important. It's how your personal brand can attract your ideal clients. So here's the thing. People are drawn to you, not just your business. So it's easy to get caught up in hiding behind the logo or carefully curated content. But the truth is, people want to connect with you. So when you start showing up authentically, whether that's through stories, showing your face, giving a behind the scenes look, or sharing personal experiences, you create a space where your audience can see the real person behind the brand. So this connection is what makes the clients more likely want to work with you. So I'm going to share some tips on how you can infuse more of your personality and values into your online presence. So first things first is short form video is still king. This is the way to go. So this is content like Reels, Stories, and TikToks. These are all dominating the social space right now, and they're not going anywhere. So people love those quick, digestible content that's easily and visually engaged. Easy to digest, and it's visually engaging. So you really don't need to overcomplicate it. Create short, punchy videos that showcase your brand's vibe, your vibe. Share quick tips, or give a sneak peek into what's happening behind the scenes. So even the simple day in the life clips that humanize your brand and boost the engagement. So keep it clean, keep it raw, and keep it simple. And then show your face more. My computer is being silly again. Okay. So personal connection is trending, especially with more entrepreneurs that are building personal brands. So sharing videos or photos of yourself. So whether that's you talking directly to your audience, whether that's you sharing insights or just offering a sneak peek of your day, people follow people, not the brand. I'm going to repeat that as a million times as I can. So when they see the person behind the brand, behind the business, behind the offer, it builds the trust and it makes them more likely want to invest in you. They're investing in you, not your brand. So remember that authentic and human connection are what people make trust and want to invest in you. Third is user-generated content, also known as UGC. And so if you have a community or you're wanting to build a community, we want them to do the talking for you. So that's encouraging your audience to share experiences with your brand or with you by tagging you, or maybe you create a custom hashtag. And so this is like the next level to a testimonial. And so when they share this post, they can highlight it to real life and social proof, right? So we want to know, is what you're doing actually helping the other person? That's what your audience is going to want to see. And so the UGC builds the trust and it fosters that community vibe, which then leads to more engagement and visibility on your page. And it's a win-win because it not only gives you the content, but also shows your audience that you have value and you're going to bring them value, and that you appreciate them for working with you and trusting in you. And so those are my three like trending tips that are happening right now because they are more personable. So by incorporating the tips, it's going to make sure that you stay ahead in the game, social media game, create authentic content that connects with your audience. And so remembering that it's about showing up as yourself and letting people in on your journey. So that's how you're going to create that ideal client that resonates with who you are and what you stand for. Next thing is elevating your visual branding. So yes, we say that it's not about the fancy logo, it's not about the prettiness, but it is about being cohesive and digestible. So if you have a page that is all over the place with a million different colors and a million different fonts, for several people, that can be extremely overwhelming. So you really want it to be digestible. And this is the first impression that people get of your brand. So it's crucial, like so crucial that aligns with your message and reflects with who you are right now. So these, the visual branding can be anywhere from the color palettes, to the fonts that you use, to the style of photography that you choose. Your brand's visual should not only look good, but it has to resonate with your audience and communicate your values. So this is where you get to ask yourself, like, does your current brand visually represent where you are, or is it still stuck in where you were a year ago or 3 years ago? And so what I love to do is break it down so it's cohesive. So it's strong and cohesive. And if I don't know where to start, what I love doing is going through social media and finding 2 to 3 people that are currently doing what I want to do on my social media. And so I create a saved pocket of inspo, of graphics, of fonts that I want to use for inspiration. So this is also where that mood board ties in. So you already know what you're going to look for, but now you just get to see it visibly happening already on social media, just to give you inspiration. And so when you're thinking about refreshing your visuals, you want to start with the basics. So that's colors, right? And that's a palette that's going to reflect your vibe. Is it bold? Is it vibrant? Is it soft and calming? You get to choose all the different types of variations, but one that works with you. And then there's fonts. So you want to pick a font that is going to match your brand personality. Are you aiming for the modern or sleek or playful and approachable? And then lastly is the photography and the graphics. So the style of images that you use says a lot about your brand, very important. And so when you're choosing these images and the style, you really want to consider whether or not they align with your message and how they make the person on the other end feel. And so they should always, when you're incorporating all of these aspects, what's important when you're sharing the message is that the visuals aren't the message. The videos are just helping support and enhance your message, not distract the person on the other end from digesting it. So just kind of as you're ending 2024, heading into 2025, like right now is the perfect time to reassess the branding that you're doing and continuing to ask yourself, okay, does this represent who I am now? And does it represent the person that I want to head into the direction of? Or is it time to refresh and realign and update the message? Dana, I'm handing the floor to you.
Excellent. So now that we have gotten into your branding and really getting a good idea of what that is going to look like, another way for you to refresh and refuel is to really go back into looking at your content plan, your strategic plan. If you don't have one, you need to get on it and you need to establish one. Before I really get into that, I want to kind of talk about the process that we take here at D&M. And Morgan and I first will start off with a strategic planner. And so we'll really match up a focus. So one of the pillars of our business with the content that we're planning, and then also with an actionable CTA, so call to action. And we outline that for however many times we're going to post for the month. So we have that in a Google Sheet. And then we go into specifically planning out what that content is going to look what the content is going to look like. So we'll have mapped out all of the copy, all of the visuals, and then we'll have Morgan will create this awesome sneak peek at what our grid looks like. And then we can go from there to move and shift things around. So we come in with a really strong plan, and then we go and we move things around and we change and we add. Sometimes we'll decide, hey, let's not post that this week. I have an idea, and then we'll insert something else. But because we have that plan in place, we're able to have that mobility, that flexibility. So when you're creating your content plan, you want to make sure that consistency is key. So in order for you to really connect with your audience, they need to know what they can expect from your socials. You don't have to post every single day. I personally do not post every single day on my personal page. When I post, it's because something is alive and on fire for me. And that's kind of the strategy that I have on my personal. But on our professional page, it's much different because there's a lot of knowledge that we want to share through there. So you're going to figure out what consistency means for you, whether you're posting for your personal brand or for your business. Is it posting 3 times a week? Sharing a weekly blog post? We have a client right now who maps out blog posts, and that's where we pull the content that's coming into her socials. And that informs what that strategic plan is going to look like. And really, really connects her audience back into who she is, what she's doing, and why she's doing it. Are you going to have a monthly live Q&A? That's something that you can have as well. So you're planning your calendar and your content around that. So whatever that frequency is, you want to make sure you're choosing something that fits along with your schedule and that you're showing up with really strong intentions and holding yourself accountable. So it's better to post less often with high quality, with engaging content, instead of worrying about posting daily and hitting some arbitrary number that the algorithm that you inform decides. Okay. So mapping out your content pillars. These are going to be your main themes and topics that are going to be represented in your brand. For us, it is always inquiry, strategy, and delivery. Those are our content pillars. That is how we approach our creative process. That is how we approach working with our clients. And that is how we approach what deliverables we are giving in our business. So your content pillars could look like behind the scenes, your industry tips, your personal stories, your client testimonials. Whatever your pillars are, you're going to want to make sure you create a structure for your content and ensure that everything you are posting is aligning with your brand, with your goals.
Amazing Q&A. So I know we are doing a recording here, but we did get some questions that kind of trickled in as we were launching this. The first question, and I think Dana, you and I can just piggyback off of this, was, should I put a link to bio as my CTA? So the question is, just so anyone else who didn't understand that or hear it, was, should I put a CTA reading link check, like, okay, let me rephrase this. Someone asked me, should I add a link to bio as a CTA in my comment, in my caption? So if you're launching something or you want somebody to book a call or sign up for your offer, should you put a DM here or click the link in my bio in your caption? My initial response to this question was, well, what is your process? What is your checkout process? And what is your, like, what's your inquiry process? And what's your checkout process? And if you don't have a definition of what that is, then maybe you shouldn't have a check the link in my bio. Because if you're not strategically defined or knowing what you're doing in those processes, then your CTA is going to be completely different.
To add on to that, first of all, if they're clicking a link in the bio, are they going to be taken through, like Morgan says, through a process that is going to help to convert, basically? If there's no way for you to convert that into an inquiry, to convert that into a sale, then no, you shouldn't be directing people towards a link in bio. And also, I think there are ways for you to have the engagement happen in app, because we all know these third party apps really like that. They want you to be engaging in TikTok, into Instagram, in Facebook, in wherever. So if there's a way for them to, I don't know, make a comment with a keyword, and then you send them a link, or then you send them information in the back end in the DMs, I think that is always helpful as well, because you're getting that engagement in your own feed.
Great response. I feel like this question that we got is definitely a Dana question. Okay, here it goes. What advice do you have for entrepreneurs looking to pivot their business model for offerings
Ooh, to pivot their business model for offerings
or offerings?
or offerings.
Mm-hmm.
This is where the growth comes in, right? So we started off the call talking about what was happening in our lives and how that is informing what we're doing in life and business, right? So I think that is really important to consider whenever you are considering a shift in your offerings. So let's see, I feel like real life relatable instances are super important. So I'm trying to go through the Rolodex. And what feels alive right now is a client who's created a business where she is incredibly mobile, right? She does a lot of traveling for visits. First of all, the business is it's physical wellness, but also a lot of mindset. So really focusing on mind, body, soul. And she has a lot of private clients that really are supporting her business right now. And what she's looking to do is still have that base of private clientele that she travels to, but also creating more opportunities for people to really come and learn from her in a group setting and have evergreen offerings as well. So she's just recognizing where she would like to have more ease and flow in some areas of life in her business, and where like those gap periods are for her. So she's been able to do that just by her inquiry, right? The inquiry of what's going on for me in my life and in my business. So having that aspect of curiosity, asking the questions of herself, really having some observation, taking those notes down, and then laying that all out and allowing that to inform the growth that she's now stepping into, and then allowing herself to step into it. So I think that's when the change of offering comes in. It's not necessarily people are wanting this from me. Of course they do, because she's got cheat codes that they want, right? However, it also is, what do I want to share? When do I want to share it? And how do I want to share it? So, really having an understanding of where you are and where you'd like to go. So, really connecting that back to the purpose of refreshing and refueling.
Ooh, I love that. Love that. Um, Another question that we received is, what advice do you have for entrepreneurs looking to align their business with their personal values and passions? And the advice, the unpopular opinion I would be was, let life throw you some things so you can figure out what you want. You know, not literally saying life, what are you going to life me with so that I can understand what it is that my soul and my body desires. But I think when you allow yourself to fully live life and get uncomfortable and allow yourself to experience things, that's when you can define what your values are and what your passions are. And you truly can't do that unless you're getting uncomfortable to figure yourself out. And that's where this of showing the behind the scenes journey that's happening, so that if you're someone who's offering a service that's more personal, people are able to see that you've gone from A to B to C to D in order to like go through the alphabet of experiences so that you can support them. So I think that to repeat my answer, it's just, you have to allow yourself to live a life and to feel everything in your life in order to help the next person and to align what your goals are, to align your values and your passions with what you've experienced in life.
To add on to that, I would say being open to the realm of possibilities. Over the summer, I attended a somatic event. It was like 2 really intensive weekends, and my intention going into the weekend was to open up to the possibilities beyond my dizziest daydreams. Was my intention, um, and what that did for me was help me to be radically honest about what I know, to be in full acceptance of it, and my responsibility to share it. What I don't know, to understand where there may be some blind spots, some shadows, some gaps in my own knowledge, and also be really, really, really like antenna, little octopi feelers out to the things that I don't know that are beyond my comprehension, that are just going to come in for me because I've set out this intention, right?
Mhm.
To being open to those possibilities. And always a teacher, always trying to help you connect to something personal. So, how Morgan said, being such an example that people understand what your own trajectory, what your own life curriculum has been. So, how can you show aspects of that self to whatever level you are comfortable? It doesn't mean you have to share your incredibly detailed life story, because sometimes it involves stories that aren't just ours to share, right? So you have to be respectful, mindful of that. Or it could be to where you are laying out the whole book, right? Everything is laid out in black and white, and you want to share that, but with some level of discomfort in order to push your edge a little bit. How can you share, like I said, what that life curriculum has been, what knowledge and understandings you have, and what pathways, what little cheat codes can you offer to someone else who would like to receive the knowledge and understanding that you have?
Mm. Ooh. Okay, we do have one more question, and I think it's absolutely perfect for who we are. And it says, how do you balance your work and personal life, especially as a single mom?
Okay, I'd like to go first on this one. Um, so recently, a lot of life has happened, and it's life that isn't, it's beyond my realm of control. Okay, there's no way that I can control any of the events that are happening outside, and a lot of it has to do with elder care, with elders in our family passing, and then for to be supportive to the extended family members, and also to have a system in place for my mom to travel, to be in places, to be with her people, right? And so that's required a lot of like contingency planning, and contingency planning in a way to where I'm not responsible for it all, because that's just overwhelming and it's too much for one person to handle. And so the way that I've been able to manage that is humbling myself and really asking for help. And what it's opened up for me is the understanding that there are so many people that I have collected in my life, family, friends, who really care about my experience and who are just waiting for the opportunity for Dana to lay down a hat, to take off a mask, to put away a roll, and to be like, hey, I need help. And they just want to come in and they want to serve, they want to give. And so, as these things beyond my control are happening, literally, it's like, who can I call and ask for help from today? And even if a person isn't able to provide, they're like, ask me again, please ask me again. And then almost every single time when I go to ask again, the magic happens. So, really, really relying on your community and that village mentality. That's how I'm able to do what I do.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna piggyback off of that, because just understanding that like it really takes a village. It takes a whole city of people. And it's not until you're really in the trenches of being, like, I'm this strong mom who can do it all. God gave me this, I can handle it all. But when you're laid out and you cannot move, the one thing that you wish you had was that community and was that tribe of people. And yeah, what you're saying about just having and taking off the mask and not having to hold it all together, and knowing that you've got these keyword trusted people who love you and your children is the only, literally the truly the only way that any of it gets done. My dad used to say this saying, closed mouths don't get fed. And oh, I just got the chills.
Yep.
And that is something that is, I think he said that to me at 7 years old because I wanted to play a position on the soccer team. And he's like, well, if you don't tell your coach, how's he going to know? Closed mouths don't get fed. And since, that was at 7, and it has stuck with me. And another key part to being able to balance it all is also finding out what it is that you enjoy, because then you can schedule out that time to feed yourself. And I think it's also really important, like when you feed yourself as an entrepreneur and as a mom, that's when you can give your children, your business, your friends more of you, because you're giving yourself that time also. Um, and that's truly the only way that it's been able to work for me. If I'm not filling my cup, then I can't fill anyone else's around me.
Yeah, it's like having your non-negotiables, right? Like, what are your non-negotiables? The things that you have to have in your own experience in order to feel like you're thriving instead of surviving.
Right. And especially on this topic too of refreshing and refueling. What are you going to refresh in your in your day-to-day life in order to refuel you for the next day and the next commitments and goals that you have set for yourself?
And like for all of our non-birthers in here, those of us who don't have kids, like this is for you too. Because you also need a village. There are things that you don't necessarily have to take on for yourself, whether that is in your life or in your business. And you are cultivating your own Avengers, your own a team that is ready to assemble and help you whenever you need them. So make sure you're tapping into that as well.
Mhm. Okay, so as we're wrapping up, I wanted to just kind of recap the key points that we've covered. So, resetting your goals, creating a consistent content strategy, aligning your visual branding. And so, we wanted to extend, what our services are and how to work with us. If you want to have that tribe, if you want to have that community around you that wants to support you in your baby, and your baby is your business. And so, we have these amazing opportunities to work with us. One is the one-on-one brand strategy series. And so this is 3 personalized brand strategy sessions where you're consulting with Dana and I, who are experts, who are pros in starting the businesses, in getting that visual content out there, and creating those pillars, and really staying in alignment with what the business is. It's ongoing support and collaboration. And then we take those sessions and create a crafted brand strategy document for you so that you have that moving forward, so that you continue to stay in alignment if that is where you're at as you're continuing on in your business. And then the second is our starter pack. This is like the great way to really just start and get things going. It's really the ultimate toolkit for crafting your unique identity. And so that is visuals, that's mood board, color palettes, copywriting, and then we give you some outlines for social media just to really push you to get started. It truly is that starter pack. And then our third offer is a VIP day. So this is a full 9 to 5 experience. This can be in person or virtual. And so it's a very intensive 1 day experience, really focused on bringing your business and the brand visions to life. So we skip that long timeline of the creation. We do have some calls before, so we're fully prepared for that day. But it really is like we skip the long timelines and we project the touch points, and we just get you the tools to get into business and get into launching the very next day. So solid investment. We promise to give you the return. And then it's time saved. So you're working together. We're working together to get it all done in 1 day. It's not a prolonged process. And then it's the opportunity to really make significant impact in your industry because you're working one-on-one with us, and that's all we're doing for that full day. So those are our offers. You can always book a call with us, and we can just, kind of point you in the right direction if you're not sure where to start, but you want to get started. I think it's something that we always have said from the beginning is like, just get started, right? Just get started.
You
It'll
just have to take the first step.
just take the first step. And then something that we're also really excited about to launch in March is a retreat, a business retreat. And this is authentic and aligned. It's going to be in March 2025, 4 nights, 5 days in an Airbnb. So you can unwind and unfocus just truly on your growth. Where all the meals are going to be prepared by a private chef. So we want to make sure that you're fully nourished and energized throughout the processes, because we are going to dive deep. We are going to get work done. This is a business retreat. So we really want you guys to be focused. We're going to have branding strategy sessions. We're going to bring in a personal stylist to align you physically, visually into what that feels like for you. There'll be photo shoots to really capture you in this feeling, B-roll content so you can post that on your social media, true creative direction so you're staying in alignment with what you said your brand represents. A month of content prepared for you. This is 12 Instagram grids so that you can post. We're going to really dive deep in masterminds and coaching sessions and daily workshops that are designed to not only grow your business, but transform how you are willing and open to approach the growth of that business. And then since we are doing all of this from a business aspect, we also want you to stay grounded and really encourage that balance of lifestyle. So we want to bring in breath work and sound healings just so you can tap into other pieces of your creativity. And for joining us and being enrolled in this Refresh and Refuel community, we want to give you $500 off as a thank you, and it secures your spot before we really open this up to the public. And so that total investment for you guys who are listening into this recording early would be $4,500. You have a payment plan and you have 8 months to pay it off. And just so excited to be able to collectively join in a business aspect that also allows you the opportunity to grow. And so those are the ways that you can work with us. And what's next going into 2025 for Dana and I. This has been honestly so much fun. We've never done anything like this before. And
We've done it for other people, but now we're doing it for ourselves. So it feels really, really awesome.
Yes, it does. So we're going to send you some links so that you can work with us, so you can attend the next retreat. Maybe you want to inquire a little bit more, so we'll provide that link as well. And so just keep an eye open in your inbox for all the yummy, juicy details. And then, yeah, super excited.